Jason. Hi, Jason.
How are you, Bernard?
Hello. Hi. Okay, thank you.
Good. Congratulations, I think, again.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be at album 3 of Electronic? Did you ever think it was gonna see 3 albums?
I never want to look at the future really. I just always think about the present. I'm not one of life's great planners. I just do whatever I feel like doing at any given moment really. And so I felt like doing another one. Yeah. But it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. We did it very quick. This one. I think the last one took too long, and we actually to record and mix this album was done in 3 months, which is pretty fast.
Because I think you've been out of the limelight, as it were, for quite some time, and in the last couple of months we've read so much about what between New Order and Electronic and all the other bits that go with it, all of a sudden you're back with a bang.
Yeah, well that's the way life goes, doesn't it really? God, it's going mad in here. Can you give me a bit of peace and quiet in here, please? Sorry, I'm getting disturbed there. Yeah, well I got back with New Order, done some gigs over... Murray, will you shut that door, please? I got back with New Order, did some gigs, which is a very pleasant experience, On a personal level, it was a good experience, and also on a level of being a musician, it was a good experience because the gigs went exceedingly well. And actually, before Christmas, this album was actually finished, I think, in September. So, during that month before, I was rehearsing with New Order a couple of days a week, and then working on this album for 3 days a week. And then I have also done a track with the Chemical Brothers.
Yes.
That's going out on their new album, and played on Primal Scream's new album. So it's been a kind of whirlwind of activity, really. I've been extremely busy. The thing, I'm really interested in now is this Electronic album, because we're both really, really pleased with the way it's come out. And,
because it's, as I say, sorry to interrupt you, but obviously all the experiences that happened between the last album and Twisted Tenderness, it certainly sounds like it from a musical point of view that both you and Johnny have been obviously been very close to what's been happening around you, in the sense that you've incorporated. It's almost for lack of a better word, a very intense, very in your face sound.
Yeah, well, we wanted to change the sound, to change our sound, just so you can't carry on making the same kind of music for the rest of your life. And the music is an evolving, changing beast, and we realise that to survive and keep your head above water, you've got to change, and if you don't change, then you'll be crushed by progress, so to speak. Also, we felt that Johnny, in the past, criticism has been made that there wasn't enough guitar on the records, although if you do listen to the first album and the second album, there is a lot of guitar on it, but perhaps it's not pushed to the forefront as much as it is on this album. So you've got to listen to what people say, really. You've got to listen to what people say. And also, Johnny's a great guitarist, so we were kind of ignoring his talent, really, not to use him more. And I think also when we first started working together, Johnny had done so much guitar-based music with the Smiths that he was eager to get his hands on other instruments, like synthesizers and samplers, and explore avenues that he couldn't do within the Smiths. Now, I think he kind of got that out of his system, and has fallen in love with the guitar again, which really really is his prime instrument. But we in a way, I mean, it's a funny thing because in a way we're very open-minded about music, and sometimes the general public and journalists are less open-minded than musicians are. So we can go too far in a direction that people, don't sort of dig really. And you've got to listen to what people say, because at the end of the day, you want people to buy your records and to get into to get into your music. Otherwise, you're not speaking to anybody. Yeah.
Because I think just from Johnny's point of view, and say also from yours, the music of electronic, and I could be wrong here, is by comparison to that of New Order, and even going further back than that, you vocally are sounding more melodic on that which you do with electronic. Is that purely the way the songs panned out, or was that because
you mean vocally?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's just experience, becoming a more experienced vocalist, because when I first started singing, I never ever wanted to be a singer. It never crossed my mind that one day I would become a singer. Never ever. I wanted to play guitar and to write music, but not vocals. So I kind of, when Ian Curtis died, I was kind of dropped in at the deep end, very much so, and it was either sink or swim, so I had to learn how to swim, really. Unfortunately, I had to do that in public. So I can sing very sort of unself-consciously now, and I enjoy singing now. And whereas at the start, it was something that I found a bit alien to my nature, really.
Sure.
But not anymore. I enjoy it now. I think that's just, if there is more melody there, it's just a sign of my personal progress, really. As a singer, you get better at things, basically.
Well, if there's one thing that can be said for you, Bernard, is that I think when everybody expects things to end, I think obviously with New Order, and obviously when Ian passed away, it was a case of it's all over, and then New Order happened, and it was great, and then it was over to the point that everybody thought that was the last that we would see. Then in between that, electronic came around, to the point that you've now got both of those entities back and running.
That's right, yeah. Well, you got to do something in life, haven't you? Basically, there was no alternative in all those situations you just mentioned, other than to carry on. Even though I'm working with New Order again, I really enjoy working with Johnny, and I admire him very much as a musician. And I'm no good at anything else, basically. That's the honest answer. There's no alternative. And also, I think that's part of the thing with New Order, part of the reason we got back together. The main reason, I must say, is that we was on a friendship level, was that we'd been through so much that it seemed a tragic thing that we'd fallen out with each other, and broken up, because we actually still really did like each other. It wasn't one of these. It was a slightly acrimonious split, but we didn't hate each other's guts to the point where we were hiring hitmen out, which happened. Well, that does happen with a lot of bands, With New Order, there was a personal relationship still there.
Yeah.
But the other main thing was that we'd written this great body of work, these great songs. Well, I think they're great anyway, and we were never going to be able to play them again. Now, I've been through that situation once in my career. After Ian died with Joy Division, we said, well, we can't play the Joy Division songs anymore because we need to make a name for ourselves under our own steam, so to speak. So I'd been through that once, and to go through it again, where basically your life's work, you couldn't touch your own work. That was a kind of double tragedy, really. So you know, and I wanted to play those songs again. You know, I really wanted to play those songs again. And unfortunately, you know, life's pretty strange. I think that if New Order hadn't have, we all thought we'd never get back together again.
Yeah.
Now, if we'd have just took 2 years or 4 years off and gone, let's have a holiday, let's just have a break from each other, I don't think any of the bitterness that was there would have gone. It would have still been there at the back of our minds. But the fact that we thought, you know, we were never going to see each other again, kind of cleared the air, so to speak, and made you really reevaluate what was good about New Order and Joy Division and electronic as well.
Sure.
You know,
sure. Because I mean,
because the two differences between the two groups is that everything you do in New Order is inevitably a compromise, because it's a very democratic group.
Yes.
And you know, you have to keep everybody happy. So therefore, you always have to compromise. With me and Johnny, you know, I could write one song entirely on my own and go, Johnny, look, I like this the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't want you to play on it. And he'd be cool about that, you know, and vice versa. With New Order, you couldn't really do that.
True.
Really. Do you know what I mean? Because the other band members would get upset. Which I can understand, you know, I'm not having a go at them. So there's a valid reason for being in both groups, really. Yeah.
But I think you're in a bit of a precarious position, because I personally believe that on the electronic side of things, this is going to be an album that is going to explode. You could be incredibly busy, you know, for the rest of the year.
Listen, the end of last year got too busy for me. I would not like that to happen again. Well, New Order that I'm working on electronic now, and they don't expect me to do anything until midsummer at least. And then when I do start working with New Order again, we're going to start writing stuff for a new album, but at the start it will only be like 1 day a week. We'll get together 1 day a week, go through the set in the morning, and then in the afternoon try and write something. But it'll be a slow start, because they're all aware that I'm working with electronic, and indeed Steve and Gillian are working on their solo stuff with the other two. Hockey's working on a new album. He's in the studio at the moment with Monaco, working on his stuff. So everyone's busy doing their own projects, you know. Although I hate the term project, everyone's busy with their other groups for at least the first half of this year. Yeah.
So, because I mean, I think between the histories that everybody has, and between the schedules that you have, I think it's admirable that you can do what you to be able to do as much as you are, because it just shows how I think just how dynamic you and obviously Johnny are as well in creating the kind of music you do.
Yeah, well, we like to keep busy, and music's our thing, like I say, there's nothing else in the world for us, really, so we spend all our time making music. Johnny's, in fact, probably more busy than I am, because he's constantly in the studio. I wouldn't say he loves being in the studio, but he always, finds himself in the studio constantly. Whereas I tend to get sick of it after a bit, and, I think it's a very important thing to get out and take your music to people, and that's what I mean. I've enjoyed playing live with New Order. I don't know if we're going to play live with electronic. It's subject that we've not broached yet, but I know we're going to start rehearsing a band to do some live television appearances very soon, and if that goes well, then hopefully we'll do some concerts, but I do miss sometimes not being able to. With New Order, we'd write a song in the rehearsal room, and then we'd have a gig, a concert, in a couple of weeks, and we'd take the song out, and before we recorded it in the studio, we'd play it in front of people, and you get a kind of vibe back off people, a kind of response to the song, and you go, oh no, it's too slow, we need to speed it up, and before you went in the studio, you kind of honed the song down so people responded to it well. So I did kind of miss that aspect really a little bit in electronic. Yeah.
Because I mean, what's interesting.
Also with New Order, I mean, sometimes with New Order in the early days, not so much in the later days, but we'd write a backing track, you know, just some music, and I wouldn't have a vocal, and I'd just make up the vocals on the night, and you know, perhaps 50% of it would be garbage, including the lyrics. You know, I just make it up on the spur of the moment. Like these like us, the track These Like Us is a song that was done like that.
Yes.
And that was quite an exciting way to write songs. Actually, because
Suffice to say that you didn't carry on writing songs that way.
No, my heart couldn't speak. Yeah.
Because just interesting. I mean, but obviously you and Johnny getting to the point that you did, but also with Peter doing Monaco and you doing electronic. These are obviously things musically that you couldn't achieve within New Order, that you felt that it was better that if you could, you know, do something separate where you'd have complete license to do what you wanted without having, you know, the three other members.
Yeah. Well, I felt very much in New Order at times that I wanted to keep the sound moving forward. Change the sound and keep moving forward. And because we've been together for so long, I just felt that I had to work with other musicians to learn fresh influences, you know, and to get, you know, find other ways of making music and go, oh God, yeah, you know, like, so you write songs that way, you write with the kind of lyrics first, you know, and you just kind of learn fresh things, new input off different people, and to refresh my kind of musical database, so to speak. Now, the only way I could do that was to work with other musicians, and a couple of times I didn't bring new musicians into New Order, but I brought a couple of producers into New Order, record producers, and I got a bit of aggravation from the rest of the band for doing that on occasion. You know, if it went wrong, it was all my fault. So therefore I thought, well, if I can't learn fresh things, you know, I don't want to go through that again. If I can't do it within New Order, I'll have to do it outside New Order, you know. And really that's what happened. And also, electronic's different because of two reasons. Like I said before, there's only two of us, so it's less of a compromise. And the other reason is Johnny plays guitar completely different from the way I play guitar. So you're going to end up, you know, with a different chemistry, obviously. I mean, in fact, the first idea behind electronic was that the band was me and Johnny, and each time we did an album, we'd get a different third person in.
Yes.
So that the chemistry of the band was constantly evolving. So every time you made an album, you'd have a different chemistry. Yeah, because you'd have the band would be different, the group would be different, which works. But if you get someone that doesn't work too well, it can be a bit of a problem. You know, it can be a bit of a problem. You're taking a chance, you know, that it's going to work out. Because you don't know that with a producer or with, you know, if you get a different bass player, and you don't know if it's going to work until it's too late. And when it's too late, you're in an awkward situation. So,
but I mean, you know, just for you as a musician at this point, I mean, in your career, do you feel that you can sort of basically do what you want and it's okay either way? You know, because you've built up that respect over the years in the industry and with your fans, that they will pretty much embrace. I mean, almost everything that you do, short of it obviously being a load of all rubbish, which it would never be. But I mean, you could basically take it any way you want, and they're sure to follow.
No, I don't think that's the case at all. In fact, on this album, on Tenderness, me and Johnny wanted a different single. than the record company, and the record company picked the song Vivid to be the single, and we wanted to do something more that was indicative of the changing direction of the album. We wanted to make it happen to be a single, which was more less pop and more kind of a hardcore progressive song.
Yes.
But the record company won, because they hold the purse strings, you know.
Yeah.
I must admit, I heard it on the radio over here in England the other day, and Vivid Eyes, and it sounded really good.
It's a great radio song. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, it's a really good radio song. So, you know, maybe we were wrong, and maybe they were right. You know.
Well, Bernard, it's been an absolute pleasure. I think I've taken up way too much of your time anyway. It's been a bit of a. I just have to let you know that I have been, and I'm sure you hear this a lot. I've been a fan since the beginning of Warsaw. So this has been a bit of.
Oh really? Well, yeah.
So, it's been an absolute treat. But congratulations again.
Okay.
And
thank you very much. And nice to speak to you.
Thanks very much.
I'll see you.
Cheers.
Bye.